So guys, we are finally back again for another reaction on this Brbptv reaction vibrations, brothers and sisters. Be real, be positive to each and every one of you guys who've tuned into another vibrations. Welcome. I'm about Miss Slicks, guys. Let us get into the vibrations for today right here. By the way, guys, I actually dropped a reaction previously today on the Miss Slicks reaction, guys. And of course, the link will be in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. So definitely check it out right there. Now it's really interesting, brothers and sisters, that we're seeing something interesting on the interesting Dominican News Online media webpage. Of course, that link will be in the description below if you want to go check out the full article. Dominica actually attempted it, based off what the article is saying, to revoke several citizenships in run-up to the United Kingdom, removing the visa-free illustrations or visa-free access to that of Dominica right there. Of course, it stated right there, Dominica attempted to revoke several citizenships in run-up to United Kingdom visa regime, report shows right there and then. Why is that? If you know that everything is going fine and dandy as it should be in the Citizenship by Investment program, why then is there even such a title as that on the Dominican News Online media outlet right there, brothers and sisters? In the run-up to the United Kingdom imposing such sanctions, well, not sanctions, but visa restrictions on travelers holding the Dominican passport, a report shows that the island made several attempts to revoke citizenships. The citizenships it granted to participants or applicants under its CBI program right there. According to the report by Investment Migration Insider, IMI, these revocations were done because why? The applicants had hidden material facts when they originally applied for a Dominica passport. Several Dubai-based CBI agents with whom IMI has been in touch with says Dominica has issued at least 25 letters stating that it plans to revoke citizenships because of the applicants having concealed material facts. It's interesting, concealed material facts. Upon the revoking, when you're not revoking it, brothers and sisters, that means they give you something already and now they are planning to revoke it. Interesting. 25 of them, based off what IMI is saying right there. 25 letters stating that it plans to revoke citizenships because the applicants having concealed material facts in the original application, the report stated right there. That's what this. Okay. It went on to say one of these concealed material facts was the failure of the applicants to mention in the original application that a UK visa was denied in the past. Okay then. In one particular letter, Dominica claims the applicants neglected to mention. So I don't understand, They're talking about revoke. You give it already. In one particular letter, Dominica claims that the applicants neglected to mention in the original applicant that he or she has been denied a UK visitor visa in the past. In at least one case, the applicant's CBI advisor had advised the client to withhold this information. So remember some time back, brothers and sisters, we saw an individual talking about receiving $5,000, and then when they receive the $5,000, the application would then go forward, or the starting of the application would go forward, and then they would have to pay the government or Dominica $100,000. Remember I was stating something like that, brothers and sisters? You don't remember? Okay, check my previous reaction videos if you have not done so, brothers and sisters. But based off these, brothers and sisters, he's saying that the individuals who were responsible of pushing the application told them to withhold this information right there. Client to withhold this information. Why? 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 What? Okay. Anyways, brothers and sisters, it's unknown how these applicants went through, given the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has vowed that Dominica has the most proactive and robust due diligence. I mean, it's all talk. I mean, evidence. It's just like when people want to say, oh, there's no God. There's no God? How do you exist? How do you exist? You pop out from a cow or something? Anyways, brothers and sisters, I'm going too far. When through giving the Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has vowed that Dominica has the most proactive and robust due diligence process which vets anyone who wants to attain a Dominica passport. Did they vet the Dominica diplomats? Did they vet them, or they just allow them to, in exchange for some monies? Did they? I don't know. This vetting process is multi-layered, which means it goes through several layers. So if you bypass the first one, then you have to bypass the second one, then you bypass the third one, and so forth before you are able to get the passports. But it's interesting that the very individuals who are filing for the applicants are telling these individuals to withhold the information so that they can get the passports. The people who are in charge of setting the process, hey, give me $5,000 and then we start the process. These individuals, why are they doing this? So in other words, they are giving the foreigners the ability to sell our passports so that they can make their $5,000 or whatever amount they're making. If they have $5,000 to get and the commissions on the $100,000, who knows the kind of monies that they have to be getting. But you have to be mindful of those things. You cannot just have people out there just giving out passports and expect them to care when they know within themselves whether that person go through or not. They must get their money. First of all, why isn't it Dominicans? Well, then again, maybe overseas they're looking forward to overseas individuals, maybe linking up with them, partnership for them to do this kind of things there. But I don't think other countries tend to do these things, especially going to the Middle East to get this done. But anyways, brothers and sisters, let me continue. This vetting process is multi-layered and handled by top-rated. That's what the Prime Minister, remember, the Prime Minister said that, The Prime Minister of Dominica that said that. Top-rated due diligence agencies based in the UK and the United States. He said following the announcement of the new visa regime. But it appears that British government did not see it that way at all. They did not see it that way at all, brothers and sisters. With the Home Secretary Suella, I said that already, and this is what she's Suella, I guess, is a she. There is clear evidence of abuse on the scheme, including the granting of citizenship to individuals who are known to pose a risk to the United Kingdom. The IMI report stated that the sources revealed after a meeting with the United Kingdom and Prime Ministers of 5 countries in the Caribbean with CBI programs, there was a flurry of reviews into cases of concealment of material facts. So it has been done. That has been happening for a number of times. 25 letters. It's not 1 or 2, maybe 3 might escape, but 25. Come on, brothers and sisters. Ongoing conversations between the United Kingdom Home Office, which has said it's actively scrutinizing the programs. Yes, they have been scrutinizing to the point where I said before, brothers and sisters, that they have been saying to Dominica and a number of other Caribbean islands, or islands themselves, stop using visa-free as a selling point. Stop using it. Why don't you say our island is nice and beautiful? Come through, we'll be happy to accept you. Just come through and see what you can do to help elevate. You want to become a citizen of Dominica? Some people obtaining passports without even setting foot in Dominica. I think if you have to run the CBI programs, you need to come to Dominica. You visit from wherever you visited and say, boy, I like Dominica, but I want to become a citizen of Dominica. But let me go and think. Visit, I think that would be a good way. Brothers and sisters, help me understand this. If people come into Dominica and realize, boy, the mountains are nice, the rivers are nice, it would be nice to raise my family there. Although the medical thing might not be up to par, but it might be nice to raise my family there. I have medical attention overseas. I can fly my family out. Nice to relax, nice oxygen in the area. We don't have to worry about climate change, even though the Prime Minister them talking about climate change on the but that point, hey, that is something else. But we have a nice vibe happening in Dominica, and we see the beauty, just like Ross. You know Ross, the founder of Ross University. He saw and fell in love with Dominica. He not only wanted to give individuals from overseas in the United States the ability to learn medicine, but he also wanted them to experience Dominica. He fell in love with the sunset. This is what he said, He fell in love with Dominica, the nature aspect of Dominica, and the people. That is what that is why Ross was built in Dominica. But apparently, prime ministers, they have foresight to see they're making things go overseas instead of staying. Even though Ross is actually Dominican. Ross is Dominican. All right then. Let me continue, brothers and sisters. Because I might go too far. Why is it? Oh, Lord have mercy. All right then. Anyways, ongoing conversation between the UK, blah, blah, blah. One agent said the Dominican government had only recently learned from UK authorities that some of the individuals to whom they have been granted citizenship, they are already granted citizenship, had been previously rejected for visas to the United Kingdom. I wonder how to talk about rejected. So if, anyways, I don't think that's applicable. I was thinking of the United States of America visas. If you get rejected and then some other person, but then again, yeah. So these people, that's why they put in visa restrictions on Dominica, because Dominica will give the people who rejected visas to the United Kingdom the ability for them not to even need visas, but they can have visa-free access to the United Kingdom, which makes sense. They rejected you. Maybe you have dirty ways. They don't want you in their place, so they reject you. They don't give you no visa. But oh, lo and behold, Dominica comes in now to give you access to the United Kingdom, because Dominica has visa-free access to the United Kingdom. That's why they put it on us, brothers and sisters. Anyways, let me continue. Right there. Granted citizenship rejected. It is also said Dominica is reportedly reviewing large numbers of existing applicants. They're reviewing large numbers of existing applicants. Not one or two, brothers and sisters. Large numbers, but then Skerrit want to come and say, oh, Dominica has the most robust, or very robust and multi-layered due diligence process. Really? 25 letters go out. Okay then. What do I know now? It is also stated that Dominica reviewing, large number of existing applicants for similar concealment and other Caribbean programs are likely to engage in the same exercise. On the website, IMI describes itself as the investment migration industry's newspaper of reference and its leading professional platform. We help invest migration professionals stay informed, connect with each other, and make more money. The company website states right there. Brothers and sisters, this is a very interesting scope to look at. Now, guys, I tried my best to run through this whole thing so you guys, but if you want to go check the article out, this is actually on Dominica News Online. I'll post that link in the description below. But of course, I want to move on to something else as well. There's this rather interesting thing. Of all documentaries you've watched about dictators, brothers and sisters, or the path to dictatorship and the power of which they are able to amass, there is always that bit of, that thought process where we think, why didn't people do something about it? Why didn't they do something about it? You see Niman making corruption after corruption and saying all kind of things on the radio, and it is completely against what is happening in reality, just so he can make things a little nicer for the people to swallow. And then objective reality says completely, look, guys, Dominica attempted to revoke several citizenships in run-up to the United Kingdom visa regime, report shows. All these documentaries you've watched about a dictator's path to power, there's always that bit where each and every one of us will think when we're watching this type of movies, why didn't people do something about it? You saw the evidence there. You saw what was happening, objective reality. But it seems like in this day and age, a lot of people like to rebuke objective reality to make their feelings, what they feel. Oh, I feel that is my husband. I feel, even though in reality that is not the case, but I feel. And how I feel is how I put it, what I put in reality. How we feel, brothers and sisters, doesn't change the path of reality. It's only going to make things worse for us. Worse, not better. I know it's sad to say. Some people don't want to hear me say that, but it's true. It's terrible what is going on in the nature of the Caribbean. Why didn't people do something? They could have stopped him while there was still time. Brothers and sisters, the question I stated, I made a statement and I stated, based on how you look at how things are going, it seems like there's a calming. People normally right now accept what is going on in Dominica as if it's the norm. So if you were to go against that now, it seems like, but wait up, what's going on, Back in the day, brothers and sisters, people used to work hard for what they wanted. They used to work hard for what they wanted. Now in this present times, it's a culture of going to your prime minister, not on the basis of them battling each other, having debates. Remember that used to happen back in the day? That's not happening now. Man, me boy, tell you boy, you seen it? There's another thing I want to point out, brothers and sisters. I realize I might be going too long. That's why I stopped. Anyways, brothers and sisters, there's another interesting article. This one is actually on Emo News right there. It reads, Attorney Noelis Knight, Didi, said that the draft election legislation does not adequately reflect, or it doesn't adequately address, or it does not adequately speak to the concerns of the Dominican people right there and then. And I believe that is her in that regard. She's attorney and she's saying a number of things, and I think we need to speak about this right there. Okay, let me stop this and maybe make this thing a bit bigger so that we can actually see what's going on. Attorney Noelis Knight has said that on a pretty much close examination of the Dennis report, brothers and sisters, she has concluded that it does not adequately address the concerns of the Dominicans over the years. She said, when we look at what Dominicans have been asking for up to this point, we've been asking for cleansing of the voters list. Of course, there's a number of people who are apparently on the list who are not supposed to be on the list. And of course, upon manipulation, you never know based on who is actually sitting there in the electoral thing. When individuals are coming to vote, they might let people slide and all those kind of things. They claim that list would actually help. So the cleansing of the voters list, that is the main thing. That's what we want. Yes, we need to clear it. And then we register with voter ID cards. The Prime Minister say you're not interested in voter ID cards. It is not. Skerrit is not for you, the voter. Yes, you have to vote too. But it's for the citizens. It's what the citizens. There's a video that I saw. I think I'll try to find it to play it for you guys as well. But anyway, she's saying we have been asking for a cleansing of the voters list. That's the main thing. That's what we want. Number two, we want to look at the issue of persons coming into Dominica to vote. Many people tend to come in to tilt the scale. And it seems like the government, them looking at where places are weak or maybe might have a little, edge to edge. And as a result, bringing people from overseas. You cannot tell me that is not so. When we saw 7 and more planes, chartered flights. These are not people that are coming from any chartered flights bringing people to Dominica to vote. How much boat coming in to bring people from the Caribbean islands to come and vote? So it's not to say it's mistake that making. No, that doesn't happen anywhere else outside of elections. Who do you think is bringing them in? I mean, it's logic. This is one of the reasons I don't understand my OS. But I kind of understand because based on the laws, you can understand the laws based on the interpretation of the laws. This is why this is also needed to be rectified in detailed format. And I think Dennis Byron also missed the mark on that one right there. Number two, she states we want to look at the issue of persons coming into Dominica to vote. What criteria is there to decide whether you are residing in Dominica or not? Reading the report, I see that Dennis Byron himself struggled with that situation or that issue. We have to define that. Yes, the definition is very much vital, especially when it comes down to bribery and treating. Definition is vital, brothers and sisters. Reading the report, I see that Dennis Byron struggled with that. We have to define that. What does it mean? Whether it is ordinarily, where is the ordinary resident? People who tend to go overseas for a little vacation, come back and whatnot. But people who tend to stay overseas or absent for 5 years. Resident absent for 5 years. Let me read this again, brothers and sisters. We have to define that which Dennis Byron was struggling with right there. What does it mean? What does that mean? Whether it is ordinarily resident absent for 5 years, and this is what this the draft we're actually speaking about by Dennis Byron definitely needs to address for it to be accepted. She added that the reconfirmation period in the legislation provides for individuals who are passed on to be removed. That's what the clearing of the voters list is about, since they cannot reconfirm themselves unless someone tries to impersonate them right there, and also requires biometric and facial proof. Yes, I think that is also necessary. I think an individual actually mentioned this right there on the concern of individuals voting from overseas. I think there needs to be a particular constituency. Rosie, I never knew Rosie had this idea, but it makes sense. If you want people from overseas to participate, people feel, okay, I send stuff to Dominica and whatnot. By the way, guys, it's not only Dominica that's sending stuff to Dominica. So the other folks who sending stuff to Dominica to help out, they should also have a right to vote if that is the case. or the individuals living. I personally believe that the first recommendation should be that only people who are living in Dominica, who are paying taxes to a relevant essence, who are doing these things should have the ability to vote. But if that is not the case, then I believe the overseas voters who say, I contribute Dominica vastly and whatnot, I know the struggles and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. I think I have a say. If these individuals want to vote, then they need to have their own constituency. I say have one constituency. Roosevelt Douglas was saying that, they need to have two constituencies for the overseas voters to vote. Well, be that the case, I guess I'll even out things. Because if it's 21 constituencies and you add one more, then it's gonna be like, having 22 constituencies. So I'm thinking maybe if you have two constituencies, that would probably tilt the scale if they are, both 11 on this side, 11 on that side, and maybe they can have the deciding vote in that regard. They will still have a level of power, true or false. That's just my point of view right there. Anyways, reconfirming period legislation provides for the blah blah blah. Anyways, however, as it relates to other concerns of Dominicans, the legislation is inadequate. Inadequate to the maximum extreme. Is like Skerrit went in and telling him, okay, take that out and put this is what I want. It's not what Skerrit want, it's what the people want. So when the Skerrit come in and say, oh, we don't need voter ID cards, we need national identification cards, nonsense he talking, irrevocable foolishness. The Prime Minister of Dominica, Starboy, is talking about. He needs to stop his dirty ways. Anyways, the attorney said, my main issue is the ability of persons who do not qualify, meaning they have been absent from the state for a period of time, a period of 5 years, whether you say continuously or whether you say they haven't been here for the 90 days. I think that also needs to be addressed and defined properly right here. I think that way that the proposed legislation is right now. I think that the way that the proposed legislation is right now, that there is still the possibility of these persons finding themselves back on the island, on the list, and that is an issue. That is definitely a problem right there. She continued, when we look at the regulations required for the reconfirmation process, it provides a form. So there's a form that you will fill out. On that form, there is a space that says resident status. So I can say that I am a resident. Yeah, I am a resident. You get the point. I just put it there. I just put in there that I am a resident, and that's it. So I can just see resident and okay, I tick the resident, and that's it. I can be lying, I'm not a resident, but I tick the resident, but because I tick it, then you can give me access to voting? No, man. There must be more than this. It's like it's like Dennis Byron just providing a report that is worse than the one he had before. It's worse. So allowing for more corruption during elections to take place, that should not be at all. I just put that there and I am a resident, and that's it. What are the documents that are going to be required to prove that you are actually a resident or non-resident? The bill is silent on this. Yes, that is an issue as well. Didier, the attorney, added that the bill does not address other major issues such as payment of passages for persons to come down, bribery and cheating, that kind of stuff, to vote, among other issues. And this is what the legislation needs to address. Apparently, it does not address this at all. And that's what the legislation needs to address. This is what Dominicans have been asking about since 2000, brothers and sisters. Since the year 2000, Dominicans have been asking about that. And the legislation brought about by Sir Dennis Byron is far worse. First of all, you have to define terms. You have to say, okay, this is what is needed. That is specific, so that it must be airtight for free and fair elections. I'm happy that this attorney has come out and said that something is wrong with the Dennis Byron report, the draft, and therefore should not be accepted in no way, shape, or form. I agree. What are your thoughts, guys? What are your thoughts? Do you think it should be accepted? Or do you think it's just us that making up things and, like Dominicans, we know going down the drain, but I get the $300 or $400 every 5 years, man. I get no house, man. I know the house, I can't pass it on to my children, but I get no house regardless. So, You know, things are happening to us. The economy is going down. I as a man have to be begging another man for money to support my family. I as a man, Satan. I as a man have to go to another man to beg him and say, please give me some money, please, so I can support my family. Because that man who I put in power to do things for me has decided to quaver the economy. Guys, one thing I can't understand in this nature of the Caribbean, brothers and sisters, we are known as the agriculture, we are known as the nature of the Caribbean. So we should utilize nature, not true? We should definitely do that, but apparently that is not the case. On the basis of utilizing nature, we have agriculture. Now, back in the day, brothers and sisters, Dominica was thriving on agriculture. True or false? Yes, that is what I knew growing up. Dominica was thriving on the banana industry and a number of things. Not just bananas, brothers and sisters. We are the nature isle with agriculture. We can export all foods that the world will have. We can grow it, export it, by the way, not organic. We look into organic, not just providing, because we are the nature isle. Therefore, we should reside or look at natural stuff. Not true? All right then. So we are the agricultural basin of the Caribbean, or once was the agricultural basin of the Caribbean, and we had factories and we had a number of things going on for us. Brothers and sisters, which factory we have in agriculture now? Which? I hear man trying to make soap now. Soap, we trying to sell soap. Nothing wrong with selling soap, you know. But as an agricultural basin, soap. When we have fruits and all those kind of things that can provide medication, we can compete with big pharma and natural remedies, because we are carbon bodies utilizing carbon materials to solve our carbon problems. Not true, not okay. Brothers and sisters, anyways, let me know your thoughts on this regard, man. I just thought, hey, how come, you know, we are agriculture, and agriculture is just non-existent in Dominica? The Prime Minister them talk about, oh, let's put things. I remember once the Prime Minister stated that they're gonna try their best to get the people to focus on agriculture, and then their duty, mark you, their duty is to go and find the markets. That is where we come in, people like me. Or political affiliations, when the government goes on there to find markets and then allow the people to know what's going on, so then the people then can then produce for these markets. That is what they call classic liberals. It's not workers and freedom and what's the other one? Labour Party and unity people. None of these things there. It's a classic political understanding of what needs to be done. Why labor right? Why? Because my mother was a labor right. Really? Anyways, this is one of the things that I found issue with. The Prime Minister them stated that they're going to be finding the markets. It's their duty to do so. Did they find the markets? Absolutely not. They did not. I think that was in the year 2020. I think that's what that is 2022 or no 2020 or 2019. One of them. But guys, let me know your thoughts, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. And of course, this is pretty much all about for this here reaction video. This is Brbptv. Don't forget to check out the previous one I did earlier on today. That, of course, link will be in the first comment in the comment box below as well. Tune in for another vibrations tomorrow, brothers and sisters. I was going to separate these, but I decided, you know what, let me put them together because they actually coincide with that very thing that you're seeing right there. Okay? Anyways, brothers and sisters, let me know your thoughts in the comment box below. And, of course, I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Remember, guys, be real. Tell the wicked at people, stop their dirty ways, man. Be positive, and I will see you guys in the next reaction video. Boom, bang.